Hello everybody, here I am again. Had quite a difficult time with the planets, Pluto, lots of losses and rebirths and so forth. So I'm still here, still smiling. I'm always amazed after having gone through quite a torment or whatever you call it. I think when I'm still here, I'm still me. So I do wonder what goes on, but I suppose it's the old bits that are going. Anyway, we're going to have a chat today about a beautiful man called, well, he's called Buddah Maitreya. He's a Japanese master, actually, that I met about 25 years ago now. Here's a picture of him. When I was living in the West Country, I just decided I wanted to get up here to Midlands, to my roots. And I couldn't quite decide. Anyway, I saw a vision of this being in my mind, great wide sash in his middle, and he was beckoning me up. I thought, oh, somebody wants me to come up. I didn't know who he was at the time. So when I did eventually come up to Newark in Nottinghamshire, I decided to find where he was. Although I didn't find him straight away. I found him when I came to look at the lodge house where I lived, and I found his place in North Clifton. Lovely garden, Zen garden, and there he was. And we had a nice chat about this and that, showed me around the garden, gave me a salad roll because I was hungry, and a meditation tape. I think he sensed that I was one of the gang, you know. So he was really, really kind. And so when I eventually moved up, I used to go and visit him in his Pureland gardens on his little home. He lived there. He actually built the gardens himself for many, many years ago. He was on his way to somewhere and stopped at this wasteland and built this beautiful garden. It's absolutely amazing. Everything is in perfect balance. Well, it would be for a Zen garden. And he's got koi carp and little bridges and a little pagoda. And I sat on the pagoda, and it was just absolutely magical, really. So I used to go and visit, and he used to do afternoon teas, made his own scones. He wouldn't give you his recipe, but they were delightful. And of course the visitors now, I mean the coach loads, it's a very popular place. He calls himself Buddah Maitreya. So that's his title. I think he's he's coming up to my age now, I think, really. We've got a lot of old people. So it was a really nice time. And yeah, it was, the garden is so peaceful and so beautiful, and there's a little nursery next door, and it was a real, I do miss it, those sort of days out, to be in that atmosphere was beautifully healing. And I used to do little jobs in the garden. They had a little Zen garden with all gravel and little stones and things like that, and it was just beautiful to go and do it, really. So yeah, it was lovely. I enjoyed it very much. So yeah, yes, that chats by the fire, and he used to teach qigong, but a bit like a tai chi. That was on a weekend sometimes, and we used to have chats by the fire. So it was just really lovely. And then one day, just talk, obviously feel his presence around, you know. And one day he came up. He didn't come. I was sitting here in my little room, no, it was in the kitchen, looking out over the trees. I wasn't meditating, I was contemplating, a different thing apparently. And I was just looking out over the trees. I suddenly felt his presence. Now I do have 10 masters that I work with. I give them feedbacks every now and then, what's happening down here. So I've got quite a little group of my own, really. So I do know a master's presence. I do know when they call. They don't actually, they're not very, you have to tune in, little hints they give you. So I knew he was around. I thought, gosh, that's interesting after all these years. And I felt I had to lie down to meditate, or sit down to meditate, which I did. And it was a very strong connection. And I don't really know what it was all about, but I do know that I had to do this meditation work, and his presence was around me, and it was very powerful. I had to lie down afterwards. I think it was probably a shifting of energy, because the masters at the moment are working very hard to get us into this new age and moving energy about, and it's all very powerful and profound. So I think what it was, I don't know, but I did feel quite peculiar for a couple of days, as I often do, and it's probably a good sign that things are working. So, and it was, I've never had this experience before. It's very strange that I kind of, they don't speak in words. Masters very rarely speak to you actually in words, if at all. You have to tune into it. It's like a light code. It's a transference of energy, a thought form, this sort of thing. And I felt something to him, and he said something to me. So there was definitely a connection. And then he sent me a little burst of love. That is a lovely experience. You know it's a little burst of love, and it comes into your heart, you know. So either he was saying thank you, or nice to see you, or there was something that was going on between us. I do wonder whether it was a karmic connection, because I know whenever I saw him, I felt there was a very powerful feeling there, you know. I'm not sure for him, but I felt I'd known him from somewhere. And I often wanted him to do a little tea ceremony for me, but he never would. I guess tea ceremonies are kind of a bit too personal for somebody that you don't know terribly well. I don't know what the reason was, but he's got a little tea house in the garden, and he does tea ceremonies for people. So this was a very powerful connection, and I still, it was an experience for me not to be forgotten, and I've never really understood it. So I did send, he's on the internet website, so I sent an email, and a very nice lady replied. He doesn't actually get to use the internet or mobile phone. He's a very quiet Zen master, sit quietly, does his meditations and makes his scones, I guess. So I did write, but she wrote back and just said he suggested he wouldn't answer my question, of course. Masters very rarely answer questions. They're very frustrating. They are a different breed, and I get totally frustrated with them, because I suppose they may answer in a kind of invisible way, but you never get a direct yes, no, this is this. I don't know why they don't, but they're very secretive, very mysterious, and very powerful, very loving, and obviously unreachable. Although they are in our hearts, I'm sure. So I didn't get an answer to my question as to what this experience was about, but I do know that it was real to me, and he doesn't. Perhaps he would know, but he doesn't want to discuss it. So the very nice lady, she just said he advises to go on meditating, which is a cop out. I get very frustrated when everyone says just meditate. You know, I find meditation actually quite difficult. I'm connected to Guru Maharaji, who teaches. He's a teacher. I think I mentioned it before, and he does teach meditation. But I've never really. Perhaps I do it anyway. I'm looking for something perhaps that's already there, because when I sit quietly, I just go into this quiet space. I'm thinking, well, what was that about? I don't see anything or hear anything. Perhaps that's the object. I've just sort of be in this space, and then often I have to lie down afterwards. I don't know why. And I did ask about this, and someone said you're probably going into trance. So I used to do that, well, not in this lifetime, but so. I've never really understood it, and we're not meant to understand it really. So when he said just meditate, and I could have, I suppose, discussed it with him, but I just felt that was it. He'd withdrawn, and I think he's probably around me now actually. So I expect you're feeling the energy, the Japanese energy. So that is a very short video today, which is just as well, because I'm exhausted. I've had some more losses to deal with, and I just keep saying to God, either take me home or let's call it a day, you know, because I've had enough. And of course that's how it is when we're here. I think I did put a comment on one of the websites recently about how long do we have to go, and the comment was very, very apt. It said you either suffer here or you suffer there. Best to suffer here, and I think that's true, because when you go, you do take all the stuff with you, and this is the only plane that actually you can work it out. This is the only plane that you can actually work out the emotional stuff. So it's good to accept that and just make a go of it, you know, and meditate. Anyway, dear ones, it's a short video today, which is okay. I mean, I do go on too long sometimes. I am a bit tired, so I'm going to end there and show you the picture. I think I've shown it to you before. There he is, and this is a picture. Well, it's not a terribly good picture of the gardens, but he made the garden all himself many years ago, and it is in perfect balance no matter what time of year. Wherever you look, there's something to take the beauty and to take your eye. You know, it's perfectly balanced. Wonderful thing. So, and I do miss it. But I might get that there one day. Another little pagoda that I sat in. He made that out of driftwood and bits and pieces of wood, and I sat in that little thing. It was very lovely. Okay then, there we go then. Have a good day, and I've now got a playlist, by the way. Put all my best videos on. Thought I'd give it a go, and who knows what's next. All right then, darlings, I'm going to go now. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Love you lots. Bye bye.